Hey guys, Kayan here with the History Rats with my good friend Rosie Posey, and we are coming at you saying sit back and enjoy the silent screamers. This is a true crime, spectacular history story. Enjoy! Sunderland in the 1960s was a bustling industrial town known for its shipyards and coal mines. The rows of houses stood as a testament to the hard-working families who lived there. Life in Sunderland was typical of many working-class communities in England. Families gathered, children played, and the community thrived. But a shadow fell over this peaceful town. Children began to disappear, and the community was gripped by fear. The police launched investigations, but the sense of unease grew. Sunderland was no longer the safe haven it once was. Foggy streets and worried faces became the new norm. Playgrounds, once filled with laughter, now felt eerie and deserted. Despite the fear, life tried to go on. Children still played, and the sun still shone, but the shadow lingered. Whispers and hushed conversations filled the air. The community was on edge, and the somber faces told a story of growing dread. The disappearance of Martin Brown was a turning point. Frantic searches and desperate parents became a common sight. Search parties combed through alleyways and abandoned buildings. The community came together, but hope was fading. Anxiety grew as grim discoveries were made. The search efforts continued, but the hope of finding the children alive was diminishing. The discovery of a small body in an abandoned house confirmed the community's worst fears. The police and forensic teams worked tirelessly to uncover the truth. Sunderland was left mourning as the reality of a child's death set in. The mysterious circumstances left everyone searching for answers. The grief was palpable, a heavy shroud over Sunderland, but the worst was yet to come. Weeks later, another child disappeared. 4-year-old Brian Howe, last seen with the little girl, vanished without a trace. The community, already reeling, was rushed headlong into a nightmare. The search for Brian was frantic, fueled by mounting dread. Then, the unthinkable. Brian's body was found on waste ground. His death even more disturbing than Martin's. Marks on his body suggested a chilling cruelty, a deliberate infliction of pain that defied comprehension. The community, gripped by fear and revulsion, demanded answers. Who could commit such horrific acts and why? The police investigation intensified. but the killer remained elusive. The murders, brutal and seemingly senseless, left the community grappling with a terrifying question. Could a child be responsible for such darkness? The investigation was a tangled web. Detectives, faced with the unimaginable, searched for clues in a case that defied logic. House-to-house inquiries, forensic analysis, every lead pursued with relentless determination. But the killer remained a phantom, leaving no trace, no apparent motive. The murder sent shockwaves through Sunderland. The close-knit community, once a source of comfort, now felt vulnerable. The streets where children once played now laced with fear. Parents clutched their children closer, their eyes scanning the shadows, their minds haunted by the unspeakable. Rumors spread like wildfire, suspicions cast on strangers, outsiders, anyone who didn't fit the familiar rhythm of the life in Sunderland. But the truth, as it so often does, lurked closer to home, hidden in plain sight. The whispers started subtly, pointing to a child, a girl, whose behavior had taken a dark turn. Mary Bell, 11 years old with piercing blue eyes that seemed to hold a wisdom beyond her years. She was a solitary figure, often seen wandering the streets alone. Her childhood, far from idyllic, was marred by neglect, instability, and exposure to the darker side of life. Her family life was troubled, her home environment chaotic. Some whispered of abuse, of a childhood stripped of innocence. Others spoke of a strange detachment, a coldness in her gaze that sent shivers down their spines. She was an enigma, a child who seemed to exist on the fringes of childhood, her world shrouded in secrets. Those who knew Mary, or thought that they did, described a complex and contradictory child. Some saw a quiet, withdrawn girl, starved for attention and affection. Others saw a disturbing precociousness, a chilling awareness of life's darker realities. Interviews with neighbors painted a disquieting picture. Mary was often seen playing alone, her games taking on a morbid quality. She talked about death, about violence, with a disturbing casualness that made adults uneasy. There were incidents, brushed aside at the time, that now seemed chillingly prophetic. A disturbing incident at a nursery school, whispers of cruelty to animals. But these were just fleeting glimpses into the darkness that consumed Mary's young life. The community grappled with the possibility that the killer was one of their own, a child who walked among them, her true nature hidden beneath a veneer of childhood innocence. The thought was almost too unbearable to comprehend. The trial of Mary Bell and her accomplice Norma Bell, no relation, was a media sensation. The courtroom was packed, the public captivated by the unimaginable. Two children accused of the most heinous of crimes. The prosecution presented a damning case. detailing the chilling circumstances of the murders and the disturbing evidence that pointed to Mary's guilt. Eyewitnesses testified to seeing Mary with the victims shortly before their deaths. Notes written in a childish hand contained chilling confessions and boasts about the killings. The defense argued that Mary was a victim herself, scarred by a childhood of neglect and abuse. They pointed at her young age, her inability to fully comprehend the gravity of her actions. The courtroom became a battleground between those who saw Mary as inherently evil and those who believed she was a product of her environment, a troubled child in desperate need of help. The jury's verdict, delivered after weeks of harrowing testimony, sent shockwaves through Britain. Mary Bell was found guilty of manslaughter on the grounds of diminished responsibility. She was sentenced to be detained at Her Majesty's pleasure, a sentence with no fixed term, leaving her fate in the hands of the state. The case ignited a firestorm of debate about the nature of evil, the culpability of children, and the role of society in protecting its most vulnerable members. Many struggled to reconcile the image of a young girl with the horrific crimes she had committed. The case left an indelible mark on Sunderland. The town, once defined by a strong community spirit, was now forever linked to the tragedy. The murders cast a long shadow, a reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of ordinary life. Mary Bell's life after her conviction was a journey through the shadows. She spent her adolescence and early adulthood in a series of institutions. Her every move scrutinized, her past a haunting specter. Her release from prison in 1980 was met with a mix of outrage and trepidation. She was granted anonymity, a new identity to shield her from the past. But the shadow of her crimes followed her, a constant reminder of the lives she had taken and the pain that she had inflicted. She went on to have a daughter, her experience as a mother a poignant counterpoint to the crimes that defined her childhood. But even in motherhood, the past was never far behind. A constant reminder of the fragility of life and the enduring power of our actions. The case of Mary Bell continues to fascinate and disturb, a stark reminder of the complexities of human nature. It is a case that defies easy answers, forcing us to confront uncomfortable truths about the capacity for evil, even in the most unlikely of perpetrators. In Sunderland, the memory of the murders linger, a ghost story whispered from one generation to the next. The town has moved on, but the scars remain, a testament to the enduring power of tragedy and the enduring strength of the human spirit. The case of Mary Bell serves as a chilling reminder that sometimes the most monstrous acts can be committed by those who seem the most innocent. It is a case that continues to haunt our collective consciousness, a grim fairy tale that reflects the darkness that can reside within us all. Well, if you enjoyed that, be sure to tune in next Wednesday for our last and final spooktacular history. And it's the last Wednesday before Halloween.